Arav, do you ever think about the future? I asked one night as we lay on the balcony floor, staring at the stars. He laughed softly, brushing my hair back. Of course I do. You're my future. Don't you know that? Those words made my chest tighten with warmth. Promise me you'll never leave. I promise, he whispered, pressing his lips to my forehead. You're mine forever. I believed him. How could I not? His voice carried the certainty I craved. I built my dreams on those promises, imagining a small home, late-night talks, maybe children with his smile. But sometimes his phone would ring, and he'd step out to answer. Work, he'd say quickly, avoiding my eyes. I frowned once. Why can't you answer in front of me? He chuckled, kissing my cheek. Because you'll get jealous. And I like you jealous. I tried to laugh with him, but something inside me twisted. Still, I let it go. Love meant trust, and I trusted him more than myself. Late at night, I'd cling to him. Arav, do you really love me the way I love you? He groaned playfully. You're impossible. Yes, I love you. Stop doubting. I wanted to believe that irritation meant sincerity, that his short answers meant comfort, not distance. I silenced my doubts with his touch, with the way he said my name when he wanted me close. One evening, I noticed him scrolling his phone quickly, shutting the screen when I leaned in. What was that? I asked. Nothing important. He smiled, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. Why are you always so curious? My voice broke. I want to be part of your world. You already are. His tone was sharp, final, as if I had crossed a line. I swallowed my questions, telling myself love was patience, not suspicion. When he came home late smelling faintly of perfume that wasn't mine, I forced a laugh. Long night? He nodded, without meeting my eyes. Meetings. I hugged him anyway, breathing in the lie because the truth would destroy me. Even when he stopped holding my hand in public, I told myself he was tired. Even when he ignored my messages for hours, I convinced myself he was busy. Maybe I'm asking for too much, I whispered to my reflection one night. Maybe this is how love really is. I tried to silence the ache with memories, his laughter, his warmth, the way he once looked at me like I was his only dream. But each memory now carried a shadow. And then, one night, as I sat waiting for him to come home, my phone buzzed. My heart leapt, hoping for his sweetness, his affection. It was a message from him. Just for words. We need to talk. My hands trembled. My throat closed. Somewhere deep inside, I already knew my forever was about to end. Arav, what did you mean by that message? I asked, clutching my phone as he walked into the room. He didn't look at me. We need to stop pretending. My stomach dropped. Pretending? About what? About us? Yes. His voice was flat. About us. I grabbed his arm. Don't say it like that. You promised me forever, remember? You said I was your world. He finally met my eyes, cold and detached. I lied. The word sliced through me. Lied. My voice shook. So what was real then? Every night we spent together? Every word you whispered? None of it matters now. Tears blurred my vision. There's someone else, isn't there? Just tell me the truth. He sighed as if he were bored. Fine, there's someone else. I stumbled back, my breath breaking. Who? He hesitated, then dropped it like poison. Ria. The room spun. No, you're lying. I'm not. My chest tightened so hard I could barely speak. Ria? My best friend? How could she? She understands me better than you ever did. He cut in sharply. I shook my head violently. That's not true. I gave you everything. I loved you with everything I had. His expression didn't soften. And it wasn't enough. You were never enough for me. The words stabbed deeper than any blade. I choked on a sob. How can you say that? After everything? He shrugged. It's simple. I want her, not you. The door creaked, and Ria stepped inside. My eyes met hers. She looked guilty, but her lips trembled with something close to satisfaction. How long? I demanded. How long have you both been doing this behind my back? Her voice was small. A few months. A few months? I screamed, my throat raw. And you smiled at me every day like nothing was happening? You sat at my table, drank tea with my mother, called me your sister. Ria's eyes dropped to the floor. I didn't mean to fall for him. Fall for him? I laughed bitterly through tears. You didn't just fall, you crawled into my bed, into my life, and stole everything from me. Arav stepped closer to her, protective. Enough. She doesn't owe you an explanation. I stared at him, broken. She doesn't know me? She took my trust, my love, my soul. And you, my voice cracked. You were my everything, Arav. He crossed his arms. You'll move on. Move on? I whispered. You shattered me. Do you know what it feels like? It's like being stabbed and still wanting to hold the hand with the knife. Neither of them spoke. Silence pressed against me like a coffin. I wiped my face, trembling. You've destroyed me, but remember this, I will never forgive either of you. Rhea finally looked up, her eyes wet. Arav just turned away, and in that moment, I knew the girl who once believed in forever had died. Please eat something. My mother's voice trembled as she placed a plate in front of me. I'm not hungry. I pushed it away. You haven't eaten properly in days. You'll make yourself sick. Maybe that's easier, I whispered. She froze. Don't say that. Nothing is worth destroying yourself like this. I laughed bitterly. Nothing? He was everything, Ma. And now he's gone with her. Her eyes softened. Then he wasn't worth your tears. You don't understand. I slammed my fist against the table. I can still hear him. Every laugh. Every promise. I close my eyes and it's like he's still here, holding me, lying to me. You have to let him go. How? My voice broke. Tell me how, when everything in this house smells like him, when every corner reminds me of what we had. She sat beside me, trying to hold my hand, but I pulled away. I feel like a ghost, Ma. I send him messages even though I know he won't reply. I check my phone like a fool, waiting for nothing. Her tears glistened. You can't live like this, child. Then how should I live? Tell me. My chest heaved. If love is fake, then what's left for me? She didn't answer right away. She just cupped my face. You still have me. Isn't that something? But I shook my head violently. You can't fill the hole he left. Nobody can. Night after night, I lay awake replaying it all. His hand tangled in mine. His voice promising forever. My phone lighting up with his name. Every moment that once gave me life now cut me open. The next morning, Ma entered again with food. Eat, please. I told you. I don't want it. You'll collapse if this continues. You're killing yourself over someone who doesn't care. Maybe I want to collapse, I snapped. Maybe then the pain will stop. Her slap was sharp and sudden. My eyes widened. You don't get to talk like that, she cried. Do you think I raised you just to watch you die for a man who betrayed you? The sting on my cheek brought me back for a second, but then tears fell. Harder. I don't even know who I am without him. He was my everything. Then make yourself your everything now, she begged, but her words felt hollow against the storm inside me. I stumbled to the mirror, gripping the sink. My reflection stared back, pale, hollow-eyed, lips trembling. Who are you? I whispered. To the broken girl staring at me. I pressed my forehead against the glass, breathing raggedly. Never again, I whispered through clenched teeth. Never again will I let someone destroy me like this. The words barely left my lips, but in the silence of that room, they felt like a fragile promise, a promise I wasn't sure I could keep. The cafe was crowded, yet I froze when I heard his voice. Arav, one of his friends chuckled. You really dumped her like that? Arav's laugh was sharp. Of course, she was too easy, always crying, always desperate. I got bored. My stomach twisted. Another voice teased. But didn't she worship you? She did, Arav replied smugly. That's what made it fun. She gave me everything, and I gave her nothing. And still, she begged for more. Laughter erupted around the table. My hands shook around my coffee cup. One friend asked, and what about Rhea? Arav leaned back, his tone dripping arrogance. Rhea was just the upgrade. Richer family, better connections. Why would I waste my time on someone like her? My heart stopped. Someone like me. I wanted to scream, to throw the coffee in his face, but I stayed frozen in my corner. You're ruthless, his friend said. Arav grinned. No, I'm smart. She was useful until she wasn't. That's all. The blood roared in my ears. While I had been clawing my way through nights of tears, he had been laughing at my pain, turning my love into a joke. I rose, unable to breathe, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. His eyes flicked toward me. For a moment, his smirk faltered. You, I whispered, my voice trembling but loud enough for them to hear. That's what you really think of me. His friends went silent. Arav leaned forward, trying to recover his swagger. Why are you here? I glared at him, every ounce of humiliation hardening into rage. I was here to drink coffee. Instead, I heard the truth. You used me. You mocked me. He shrugged. Don't take it personally. It's just life. Life? My laugh was bitter. No, Arav, this is cruelty. And you think you've won. His smirk returned. Haven't I? I stepped closer, my voice steady now. No, because you don't know what you've created. I cried for you. I begged for you. But now I paused, staring into his eyes, letting him see the fire he had lit. Now, I will never shed another tear for you. His jaw tightened. Empty threats. I smiled coldly. Not threats. Promises. He leaned back, forcing a laugh, but I saw the flicker of unease. I turned, my hands no longer shaking. The tears that once drowned me dried up in that instant, replaced by something far stronger. As I pushed open the calf door, I whispered to myself, my voice low, steady, unbreakable, you will regret losing me. And for the first time since he shattered me, I didn't feel weak. I felt powerful. Kavya, I can't do this, I muttered, staring at my reflection in the restroom mirror. Yes, you can, she said firmly, adjusting the collar of my blazer. You just need to stop showing him your scars. My scars are all I have left. She shook her head. No, what you have is strength, you just don't know how to wear it yet. So smile, stand tall, and let him choke on his own regret. I practiced the smile. It felt strange at first, like wearing someone else's face. That's it, Kavya encouraged. Now walk into that hall like you own it. I inhaled sharply and followed her out. The office event buzzed with chatter and music. I straightened my shoulders, forcing calm into my steps, and then I saw him. Arav. His eyes widened before narrowing into a smirk. Well, look who decided to crawl out of the shadows. My stomach clenched, but my lips curved into the practiced smile. Hello, Arav. He tilted his head, clearly expecting me to falter. You look different. Trying too hard, maybe? Or maybe I finally stopped trying at all, I said smoothly, sipping my drink. His smirk flickered. Don't pretend you're over me. I raised a brow. Pretend? That sounds more like your specialty. Kavya joined us, slipping an arm around my shoulder. She's been killing it at work lately. Promotions don't wait for broken hearts, right? I shot her a grateful glance. Arav's jaw tightened. Work won't fill the emptiness, he sneered. I laughed softly. Neither did you. At least work doesn't betray me. The silence between us sharpened. I could feel people's eyes drifting toward us, sensing the tension. For the first time, I wasn't the one shrinking. He leaned closer, his voice low. You think acting confident makes you powerful? You'll always be the same desperate girl who begged me not to leave. I met his gaze, unflinching. Maybe I was, but not anymore. For a second, something flashed in his eyes, doubt. I tilted my head, letting the silence stretch. Then I smiled again, calm, composed, untouchable. Enjoy your evening, Arav. I turned away before he could respond. Kavya whispered in my ear. That was perfect. My hands trembled slightly, hidden beneath the folds of my dress. But I didn't let it show. Inside, my heart still ached, but on the surface, I looked unshaken. For the first time since the betrayal, I had the power to make him feel small. As the music swelled, I caught one last glimpse of him across the room. His smirk was gone. His eyes followed me with something new, something that looked a lot like fear. And I realized the mask I wore was no longer just a mask. It was becoming me. Kavya, are you sure about this? I asked, lowering my voice as we sat in the quiet corner of the office cafeteria. She slid a folder toward me. Positive. Arav's been closing deals through bribes and false reports. I heard it from finance. And now you have the papers to prove it. I opened the folder, my pulse racing. So everything people admire him for his success, his promotions, it's all a lie? She nodded. Built on lies. Built on people like you, who trusted him. I clenched my jaw. Then it's time to stop letting him win. Later that evening, my phone buzzed. Ria's name flashed across the screen. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello? Her voice was soft, careful. Can we meet? No, please, she begged. Just one chance to explain. Explain. How you betrayed me. How you stole him while smiling in my face. She sighed. I didn't plan it. It just happened. Arav was there for me when stop. My voice hardened. Don't you dare make excuses. You knew what you were doing. I'm sorry, she whispered. Sorry? I laughed bitterly. Friends don't steal. Parasites do. And you fed on my trust like it was nothing. Her breath hitched. He's not who you think he is. He's using me too. I snapped. Good. Then maybe you'll finally understand what it feels. Like to be discarded. She tried again, desperate. Can't we go back to how it was? Back? My voice shook, but not with sadness, with control. There's no back. You killed that the moment you chose him over me. The silence stretched before she whispered, I miss you. I ended the call without replying. I stared at the evidence again later that night, spreading the papers across my desk. False contracts, fabricated numbers, dirty deals. Every page was a weapon waiting to be used. Kavya messaged me, you okay? I typed back quickly, more than okay. I finally have something stronger than tears. The next morning, I bumped into Arav in the lobby. His confident smile flickered when he saw me. You look busy, he said mockingly. Better busy than bored, I replied coolly. He smirked. Still pretending to be strong? I leaned closer. Pretending? No, Arav, I'm just getting started. His smirk faltered, just for a second, before he turned away. Inside, my rage no longer felt wild or reckless. It was sharp, precise, a blade I would wield carefully. For the first time, I wasn't drowning in his lies. I was holding them, using them. And I knew this was only the beginning. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers, glasses clinking, voices humming. I walked in beside Kavya, my heels clicking deliberately against the marble floor. She whispered, ready? I smiled. More than ready. Arav was already there, laughing loudly, surrounded by colleagues. His voice carried, as if the whole party revolved around him. Arjun, the investor, approached me with a curious smile. And you are? I extended my hand. Ananya, we work in the same firm. His grip was firm. I've heard of you. People say you're sharp. Arav never mentioned that. I tilted my head, catching Arav's eyes across the room. He was watching stiffly. He prefers people underestimate me, I replied lightly. Arjun chuckled. Dangerous mistake. Tell me, what do you think of the merger he's pitching? I held his gaze. It's profitable on paper, but the numbers don't add up. There's leakage somewhere, intentional or not. I'll leave that to your judgment. He raised his brows, impressed. Finally, someone honest. Refreshing. I felt Arav's presence before he even spoke. Arjun, you shouldn't take her seriously. She's still learning. I turned, smiling sweetly. Oh, Arav, didn't you say once that I never understood business? Strange, considering Arjun seems to value my opinion. Arjun laughed. She makes more sense than half the executives. I know. Arav's jaw tightened. She's exaggerating. Am I? I leaned closer, lowering my voice just enough for both men to hear. Numbers never lie, Arav. People do. Arjun's eyes sparkled with amusement. You're bold. I like that. I sipped my champagne calmly, though inside, adrenaline surged like fire. For once, Arav wasn't the admired one I was. Arjun gestured toward the stage. They're calling for a few words. Care to join me? I hesitated just a second before nodding. Of course. On stage, under the lights, I spoke clearly. Partnerships thrive not on inflated reports, but on trust and truth. Investors deserve honesty, not illusions. That's the foundation of real success. Applause followed, rippling through the room. I felt Arav's glare stabbing from the crowd. When I stepped down, Arjun leaned toward me. You've got presence. People notice. Sometimes that's all it takes, I murmured. Arav intercepted me quickly, his voice low and sharp. What game are you playing? I met his anger with calm. Game? I thought we were just celebrating. You embarrass me, he hissed. Or maybe, I whispered, brushing past him, you embarrassed yourself. His face darkened, but he said nothing. Kavya caught my arm as I returned to her. You were brilliant. I just told the truth, I said softly, though my heart raced with triumph. Inside, I savored the moment. The roles were shifting. I was no longer the one crumbling he was, and nothing thrilled me more than watching Arav realize it. Whispers filled the office corridors like smoke. I heard them in the elevator, in the cafeteria, even in the hushed silence of the conference room. Did you hear? Arav's deal wasn't clean. Numbers don't match. Investors are asking questions. Could ruin him. I kept my expression calm, though every murmur felt like music. Kavya nudged me at my desk. It's spreading faster than I expected. Good. I murmured. Let the truth do its work. Later that evening, as I packed my bag, Arav stormed in. His eyes were bloodshot, his tie loose, his voice sharp. You, he spat, slamming the door. You're behind this. I looked up slowly. Behind what? Don't play innocent. The rumors, the reports, The investors backing out, it's you. I tilted my head. Strange. I thought you said you were untouchable. He took a step closer, fists clenched. You ruined me. I met his fury with quiet control. No, Arav, you ruined yourself. His breath hitched. For the first time, he looked unsure. You think this makes you powerful? He snapped. You think you've won? I don't need to win, I replied softly. I just need the truth to be seen. He barked a bitter laugh. Truth? You're using lies to destroy me. I stood, facing him fully. If they were lies, you'd have nothing to fear. But you do. Don't you? His jaw tightened. You won't get away with this. Get away with what? I asked gently. Exposing what you did. That's not betrayal. That's justice. His anger cracked, replaced by something darker: fear. He masked it with bluster. People will still believe me. They always do. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. Not anymore. They've seen behind the curtain, and once they see, they never forget. For a moment, silence filled the room. His shoulders sagged slightly, as if the weight was finally pressing down. You were supposed to love me, he muttered, almost broken. I held his gaze. And you were supposed to respect me, but you chose greed. Now you face the cost. He shook his head, backing toward the door. This isn't over. No, I whispered, watching him falter. This is just the beginning. When he left, the air felt lighter, as though the office itself had exhaled. Kavya peeked in moments later. Everything all right? I smiled faintly. Better than all right. He's finally cracking. She grinned. I've never seen him look so small. Neither had I. And the sight of his fear after all the pain he'd caused was sweeter than revenge. It was justice unfolding, piece by piece. Inside, I savored the shift. The balance of power was mine now, and I wasn't letting go. I found Rhea waiting outside my apartment building, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Please, she whispered as I approached, clutching my arm. Don't walk away. I need to talk. I froze, annoyance twisting with curiosity. What could you possibly have left to say? Her voice trembled. He's destroying me too. Arav, he lied to me, used me. I thought I mattered, but I was just a distraction. I pulled free. Now you understand what betrayal feels like. She flinched. I didn't know. I swear I didn't. If I could go back, you can't. I cut her off sharply. You made your choice. You chose him over me. Live with it. Tears spilled down her face. I was blinded. I thought he loved me. I folded my arms. Love doesn't steal. Love doesn't stab in the back. Her sob turned into a plea. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. No, I said coldly. You don't get to cry your way out of this. She covered her mouth, sobbing harder. For a moment, guilt flickered inside me, but I pushed it down. She had known what she was doing. Later that week, Arav cornered me in the parking lot. His suit was wrinkled, his eyes wild. You think you're winning? He snarled. I slipped my keys into my pocket. It looks that way. He grabbed my arm, squeezing too tightly. You ruined me. Investors are gone. Rhea is hysterical, and everyone whispers like I'm a criminal. I stared at his grip. Let me go. He yanked me closer instead. Do you enjoy this? Watching me fall? I kept my voice steady. I enjoy justice. His face twisted with rage. Justice? You're vindictive. That's all. You couldn't handle losing me, so you set out to destroy me. I laughed bitterly. Losing you? That was freedom. Destroying you? That's just consequence. He shoved me back against my car. Shut up. For the first time, the mask of his polished charm shattered completely. His eyes burned with desperation. His breath ragged. You're pathetic. I whispered. This is who you really are. He raised his hand, then froze, trembling. For a heartbeat, I thought he'd strike me. Instead, he slammed his fist against the car door, denting the metal. You'll regret this, he hissed. Everyone will regret turning on me. I met his glare. The only regret is ever trusting you. His chest heaved, rage and fear tangled together. You think you've won, but you'll see I'm not done. I opened my car door slowly. You're already finished, Arav. You just don't know it yet. His hand twitched at his side, then dropped. He staggered back, muttering curses as he disappeared into the shadows. I sat inside, heart pounding. My hands shook, not from fear, but from the clarity of what I'd just seen. The charming man everyone admired was gone. In his place stood a cruel, broken shell, and I wasn't afraid anymore. Arjun slid the papers across the table toward me, his eyes steady. It's done, he said. The board saw everything. Embezzlement, false accounts. He's finished. My hands trembled slightly as I picked up the file. So this is it? The final nail? Arjun nodded. He'll have no way out. By tomorrow, his name will be ashes. I exhaled slowly. For so long, I had dreamed of this moment. When the news broke, I watched from a corner of the office lobby as chaos unfolded. Whispers filled the air. Fraud, corruption, heir of Singh. His colleagues avoided his eyes. Phones buzzed with alerts, announcing his suspension. The man who once walked like a king now stood cornered, pale and shaking. Rhea stormed past me later, her voice sharp with fury. You ruined me too, Arav. I gave up everything for you. She threw a ring at his chest and vanished into the crowd. For a second, I almost pitied him. Almost. That evening, he came to find me. He looked hollow, his tie loose, his face gray, his swagger gone. You, he whispered, stepping closer. You did this. I didn't move. No, Arav, you did this to yourself. His lips trembled. Please don't. You don't understand. I still love you. The words froze me. Once, I would have given my soul to hear them. Once, they would have been salvation. Now, they were ashes in my ears. I shook my head slowly. Love? You wouldn't know love if it begged on its knees. His eyes glistened with desperation. I made mistakes, but you and I, we were meant. No, I interrupted sharply. We were never meant for anything but this ending. He dropped to his knees, hands clutching the air. I can change. Please, just give me one chance. I stared at him, my chest tightening. For a heartbeat, old memories stabbed at me. His laughter, his touch, the nights I thought I was safe in, his arms, but the weight of every betrayal crushed them. You had chances, I said softly. You threw them away. Now all you have left is the ruin you built. He covered his face, voice breaking. Don't leave me like this. I leaned closer, whispering so only he could hear. Once, I would have died to hear you say you loved me, but now it means nothing. I turned, my heels striking the floor with finality. Behind me, I heard his sobs collapse into silence. The man who had broken me now lay broken himself. Outside, the night air hit my skin, cool and liberating. Arjun's voice echoed in my memory. He's finished. For the first time in years, I felt light. I had won not through vengeance alone, but by reclaiming myself. I never looked back. The city buzzed with talk of Arav's fall. Newspapers screamed headlines of fraud, corruption, disgrace. People who once bowed to him now spoke his name with pity or disgust. I had won. Yet as I walked through the streets, victory tasted bitter on my tongue. At night, I sat in silence until my phone buzzed. My mother's voice was gentle. Come home. When I arrived, she poured tea and studied my face. You don't look happy. I should be, I muttered. He's ruined. Everything I wanted, it happened. Her eyes softened. Then why do you sound like someone mourning? I gripped the cup tightly, because I thought revenge would heal me, but all I feel is empty. She touched my hand. Winning against him is not your freedom. Living again is. Her words cut through me. I whispered, living again have I forgotten how? You haven't, she said firmly. You just buried yourself under the pain. Now it's time to dig free. Tears stung my eyes. Do you think I've wasted years chasing him? No, she replied. You survived. You fought. But surviving is not the same as living. I closed my eyes, hearing echoes of Arav's last plea. I still love you. The words once sacred now felt like chains I had finally broken. I wanted to prove I was stronger than him, I confessed. But what if I only proved how much power he still had over me? My mother's voice was steady. Then let that be your lesson, not your prison. I looked at her, searching. So what now? If revenge isn't freedom, then what is? Choose yourself, she whispered. Every day, in little things. In love, in work, in laughter. That's where freedom waits. The silence between us was warm, not heavy. For the first time, I felt something shift, like a lock turning inside me. Later, I returned to my apartment. I stepped onto the balcony, the night breeze wrapping around me. Lights glittered below, alive, endless. I leaned on the railing, heart pounding, and finally spoke to the darkness. Arav, I loved you. I loved you so much it destroyed me. But now my voice cracked, then steadied. Now, I love myself more. The words didn't erase the scars, but they released me. For years, my life had been defined by him, by betrayal, by revenge, by rage. Tonight, it was defined by me. I stood there a long time, breathing, not as a woman broken or vindictive, but as someone learning how to live again. The city hummed beneath me, and for the first time, I felt ready to hum with it.